People, DG, I'm back again. I mean, you lot know at this point, it's my lunch break. Got nothing better to do than make vids. Apologies for the background noise, for the inconsistent lighting. Let's keep it here, people. Yeah, that looks a bit decent. But first and foremost, let's start with Hector Bellerin now. Apparently he's ahead. I believe the person who's reporting it is Dave Hunter. I'm not sure what he does as a profession, if he's a journalist or physio or whatever, but apparently he's the primary source of reports online that Hector Bellerin is ahead of schedule in regards to his cruciate ligament injury and is targeting a September return, before the end of September specifically. I'm not too sure of the date, but we've got Aston Villa around then, so allegedly that's the talk now. I'm not a physio. I'll never pretend to be able to understand physiotherapists and how the ligament works and how it reacts to injuries and rehabilitation and things like that. So if they deem him fit, and people that are working closely with Bellerin, or the PTs or whatever, they deem him fit to return to training of some capacity, return to action of some capacity, I'm all for it, man. And also, obviously, it's good that he's ahead of schedule. That keeps him positive. We need to remember, first and foremost, he's a professional footballer. He kicks football for a living. If you're not able to do that, injuries can become a lonely place. I mean, credit to Bellerin. He strikes me as, he's the same age as me. Despite our young years, he strikes me as someone who's smart like me, but not on a serious note, someone that's got other interests, someone that's quite headstrong, and you have to be. And I only bring that up because injuries can be lonely, people. Whenever it's pre-season, everyone's optimistic and all of these things, and he had a positive start to life under Unai Emery before the injury kind of robbed him of that. It's a lonely place, people, and if he's ahead of schedule for morale purposes, I'm grateful for that. Obviously, him being ahead of schedule is a bonus as well, because obviously we've got Maitland now, you've got Jenkinson, you've got Mustafi. I'm saying options that were all deployed at right back when Bellerin wasn't there by Unai Emery. None of these are screaming, apart from Maitland now, to be the candidate, really. So if we get our first choice left back, that's great. Obviously, again, I'm no physiotherapist and stuff, and obviously the club will work closely in regards to his recovery stage, but I don't want to see him rush back. Of course I want Bellerin back, of course I want our first choice back five, but just because a man's back and fit and technically past fit to begin training does not mean he's match ready, does not mean he hasn't got ring rust to shake off. He's not going to be at the best of his game. He's missed out on how many months, people, so we're going to have to take our time with Bellerin. But first and foremost, if a man's healthy and he's quicker to being back in good health, I'm all for it. Secondly, you're hearing that AC Milan want Bielik because Bielik is not part of Emery's plans this season. Last season he said he didn't speak to Emery, maybe it was more of the same. The club allegedly want to give him a new deal and loan him out again. He's got 2 years left. I mean, Raul Sanllehi did say when you get into the last 2 years of a player's contract, we need to kind of be knowing what we're trying to do out here. So at least to protect the value of the player, he could go out on loan, because I mean he could go out on loan if he signs a new contract, because I mean if he goes out on loan with 2 years left, has a good season next year, you're gonna have to sell him anyways because it's his last year. But it could probably be a basement fee because they don't want to risk it. Scouts saw him have a promising under-21s championship off the back of gaining promotion to the playoffs. I believe he's still raw, but he could be given an opportunity. For him, obviously he wants a chance at Arsenal, but if it's not going to happen, you just need to go and get football elsewhere. If I was him, I'd probably push for a permanent. We all know Deluded and his history of Arsenal, and I mean he wants Jeffrey Adelaide, he wants Bielik, he wants backroom stuff, you might as well take Ronke with you if you want everything at Arsenal, but just in Italy. So it's sad, at the end of the day, Unai Emery's allowed his own decisions. If he doesn't deem that he wants to use Bielik, he doesn't want to use him. So it's disappointing for me personally, but it is what it is in that regards, man. Finally, in the Saliba front, you're hearing that Hus Fahmy and Raul Sanllehi are at London Coley. I know they've been Raul's been at the Emirates to do with Edu signing, but you've heard they're both at the Emirates. I mean, both at London Coley. If one of your director and the chief man that's in charge of contracts is at the training ground where players typically do medicals, if not a hospital, you'd think a signing's going down. Now, I'm at the stage you just want to see Saliba holding an Arsenal shirt. Every minute he's close to signing for the club and whatnot. But allegedly, people, we've made progress. The deal's more or less done. He'll travel to Arsenal for a medical and to dot I's and cross T's. Personal terms, to be fair, allegedly were agreed a while ago. And he'll return on loan next season back to St Etienne. Now, it's good for him because it gives him a year to acclimatise to the upcoming move. It gives us fans a time to probably, I know not many people, but I'm certainly going to do what I can to watch him playing for St Etienne and bring you lot updates so we can see his level. Allegedly, he wanted to stay an extra year. I have seen reports he wanted to come now, reports he wanted to stay a year. If he did, cool, because He's only made a handful of appearances really for St Etienne, so maybe it's unfinished business. At the end of the day, he can develop away from the spotlight, because I believe not just him but a couple of the young players fans have been, myself included, going with the logic of they can't do any worse than the more experienced players, like in terms of, the young players will make certain mistakes, and Saliba will be like that. And as much as I want him to be at the club currently, because I think him holding, just give him a try now, man, they're going to make mistakes and be naive. Well, it is what it is. Because of our dire need to improve our defence and shore up the defence and a need for a centre-half, maybe fans will neglect the fact that he's an 18-year-old that's barely made 20 or over 20 appearances for a club side. He's still going to be experienced, and he's going in the Premier League. He will be found out at times, and it might not be the best of environment. So if he can prepare for that for a year, that's good. From an Arsenal fan point of view, I'm inclined to believe people. It's got to mean another centre-half's coming. Bielik can play centre-half and defensive mid, but he's allegedly gone. In some capacity. We're willing to keep Saliba for a year at his club, despite the fact we paid a decent amount of him. So surely a centre-half has got to be coming into the club. I say surely, I don't know the club's thinking, but surely, whether it's a stopgap signing or someone with a lesser profile to complement the side, because that was one area. We can improve tactically and technically regardless of who's in the defence. But for me, in an ideal world, you bring in that defender of a decent profile that can take us another level, and you then allow Unai Emery with Socrates and Holding, who should be the Mavropanos as well, should be the options. You allow him to implement defensively what he wants to, and that allows us to make encouraging, promising signs next season. Emery and the boys are not going to get his spot on. They're not going to be in training for a month and they're able to all defend and keep 20 clean sheets. It's not going to happen, people. It's going to take time to introduce that, but the key thing is to make progress in the right direction. How much progress can be made, who knows, people. But yeah, man, it's a shame for Bielik. Obviously, I'd like to see Saliba over the line and dotted and stuff like that, and I'm positive about Bellerin's return, allegedly, people. Again, none of this is all confirmed. This is all stuff I've seen on Twitter, like you lot. Yeah, I'm gonna keep it moving, people. Let me pick up my thing. It's between, it was gonna sound booky, but yeah, man, lunch and that. Shout out to the Costco water gang and what's these things called again? Forgot it. The foil gang. You lot that bring stuff from home, man. We're not rich to be doing £3 meal deals every day. But on that note, on a serious note, people, I'm out.